you ever blamed your past for not achieving something in the future? Have you let your past hold you back? Has something happened to you in your past? You've had bad parents or a bad school experience, or you were bullied, or you had an injury or a sickness, or something happened to you that was horrible and it's held you back from achieving. So there's probably a better question to ask. What do you want to achieve? If you haven't achieved it yet, what kind of life do you want to live? And the 4 things that I always ask: are you healthy, fit and strong? Do you have a career or business that you love? Are you financially free or on track to being financially free? And have you got great people in your life? And if the answer is no, and I always use the reverse, if you're weak, sick, frail and diseased and depressed, if you have a lousy, stinking, rotten job, if you don't have enough money, and if you've got horrible people in your life, could it be a really good idea to change? And if you keep looking back in the past and blaming the past, here's a really great question. What can you change about the past? It doesn't matter what's happened, how horrific, horrible, terrible, traumatic the past has been. What can you change about the past? And as an old lady who's lived on the planet a really long time, not only have I had horrible things happen to me, but I've seen terrible, horrible, yucky things happen to other people. And because of those things, they've become tough, strong, wise, intelligent, successful multi-millionaires because of their horrible past. And of course, you know people as well as I do that have had a terrible past. They're still blaming it. If they get upset or emotional or something horrible happens right now in the present, or they think something could happen in the future, they blame the past. So they curl up in a little ball and say, I can't live my life effectively because of my past. And this is a very tough confrontational question, but isn't that an excuse? You can't change what happened. What happened a second ago, a minute ago, 1 year ago, 50 years ago, I can't change any of that. But I can change how I respond or react to it. So I can react, my life was terrible and I can't have a great life in the future because of that. Or I can say, I can't change any of that. What can I learn from it? How can I grow from it? How can I get better, stronger, wiser because of it? And even more exciting, isn't that why we become wiser and stronger? Because of the terrible things that have happened to us in the past? So there's a really interesting question if you are blaming anything that's ever happened in the past and you're emotionally attached to it. And this is where, as an exercise professional, it's been a really interesting journey, because I've literally had I've been emotionally involved with lots of different people. And when I say emotionally involved, I can't just do business with somebody or just be somebody's personal exercise coach or just manage a health club, which has been my career path. And now as the owner of an international fitness business college, I don't just deliver education. What I do is I get involved with my students, with my members, with my clients, because I want to understand what makes people tick. And I want to be able to inspire, motivate, excite them to be healthy, fit and strong, have a career or business that they love, be financially free and have great people in their life. So I've had a lot to do with a lot of people. And when it comes to relationships in the past, when it comes to horrible experiences in the past, it's an emotional thing. So when you are healthy, fit and strong, is it possible that you can be in control of your emotions? Because that's your hormonal system. Your hormones control your emotions. They control how you feel. But your hormonal system is just a physiological part of your body. So if you have a strong, and that's your endocrine system, everything that it starts in your brain and ends in your root bit, and there's lots of different glands throughout the body, your hormonal glands that control everything that happens in your body, but they control your emotions. So if you can become the master of your emotions, so you don't, and all of the things that make us angry, upset, hurt, annoyed, they're all emotions. So if I can be in control of those rather than them controlling me, is it possible that I could move forward as a happy, positive, solution-finding optimist rather than a person who's emotionally attached to my past and blaming my past? And that's the logical part of that question. So there's a big thing about I hate my past or I love my past. Let's use that as an example. Love and hate are both very powerful emotions. Because if I say to people, what's the difference between, what's the opposite to love? What's the opposite to hate? And people usually say one of the others. If I don't love somebody, I must hate them. Well, could you consider this? If I love somebody or if I hate them, I have a very powerful emotion. So my endocrine system, my hormones are involved in that relationship or that experience. So if I'm angry about my past, if I hate my past, or if I hate anybody in my past, my parents, my teachers, something terrible that's happened to me, I'm emotionally attached to my past by emotion. So could the opposite to love, hate, be indifference? So what if you could be indifferent, have no feelings at all, emotional feelings, just logic? Because logic says, I can't change my past, I can't do anything different about what's happened to me in the past, I'm going to move forward. But if I'm emotionally attached, I love, I hate, I'm angry, I'm frustrated, I'm annoyed, I keep getting hurt about what's happened in my past, I am now letting my emotions control my life. So how do I become indifferent? And that, of course, is being in control of your endocrine system, of your hormones. And that's all physiological. It's not even psychological. Because when you're really fit and really strong physically, your emotional system, your hormones, your endocrine system are also really fit. And so is your brain. So you make better decisions, you make logical decisions, you think really clearly, you think logically, you think critically, rather than emotionally. So that's my big question. If you don't have a life that you love at the moment, those 4 things, if you're not healthy, fit and strong, if you don't have a career or business that you love, if you're not financially free and you don't have great people in your life, how fit and strong are you? And not fit enough to go for a walk, or not strong enough to lift your groceries. I'm talking about a physical body that is so fit and so strong that every other part of your body is in tune with your brain. So your central nervous system, your endocrine system, your immune system, your digestive system, skeletal and muscular system, your heart and lungs, your respiratory and cardiovascular system, they're all working together to help you thrive. And that's where the emotional side of the body comes into how the brain and the hormones work. Because your body's physiologically designed to stay alive, and that's called the fight and flight system. So if you're under threat, your body will do everything to keep you alive. But not only keep you alive, your body wants you to feel happy and successful and satisfied, because otherwise you won't reproduce. And that's the purpose of the human race. Physiologically, we're only ever being designed to reproduce more humans. And of course, you don't want to have a physical, intimate relationship with anybody if you're grumpy, miserable, angry, frustrated, blaming your past, hurt, sad, annoyed. None of those things are a great feeling for wanting to have sex with somebody. That's as simple as I can put it. So your fight and flight system, which is to help you stay alive, which is the 10-second phosphate system, which is lift something really heavy, fight it, or run away from it, sprint away. You don't walk away, jog away, you sprint away to keep you alive. What are you doing to stay phosphately fit and strong? So what are you doing? What can you lift in 10 seconds as heavy as you can possibly lift? How hard can you push your cardiovascular respiratory system, your heart and lungs, to get fit as hard as you possibly can for 10 seconds so that your body is fit and strong? Now, all the other things we do that are called exercise, walking and swimming and jogging and hiking and dancing and all the fun things that the human body is capable of doing, is it possible that we will be more capable of doing them with passion and enthusiasm rather than I've got to plod jog my way through half an hour and it's really boring, I've got to go to the gym for an hour, I've got to do a class for 45 minutes. If I was really fit and really strong, I could go and do anything and really enjoy it. But most importantly, is it possible that my body, my physical body, will then send messages back to my brain to say we're really fit and we're really strong. So the central nervous system is stronger, your emotional system becomes very powerful. So you are now capable of thinking more clearly. And if you go back to the fight and flight, if I'm under threat and I've got to kill something to stay alive, or I've got to run away from it to stay alive, the emotional system, the endocrine system is designed that if that ever happens to me again, I'm better, I'm fitter, I'm stronger, I'm more intelligent, I can think more clearly. So the muscles send a message back to the brain to say, we have to be better for next time. The brain has to be better. Now, the chemical for that's called brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which is a fertilizer for every neurotransmitting system in your brain, so that next time you're better. We have to be better for next time. You have to be stronger, you have to be fitter, you have to be wiser, you have to be more logical, you have to think clearly. Because if you are emotionally trying to get away from the animal, you'll blame the animal. Why is the animal chasing me? Well, it just is. Isn't that what life is? Why did I have such a bad past? You just did. You had stinking lousy parents, or you had stinking lousy teachers, or you had a horrible thing happen to you in the past. It just is. You can't change it. There's no would've, could've, should've. You just did or you didn't. It is or it isn't. And I know that sounds very harsh, but isn't that an awesome way to live? I can't change that. But I can change that. I can be strong, I can be powerful, I can be fit, I can be a critical thinker. And none of that comes from sitting on the couch, pulling the blankets over your head and sulking and crying. You have to get fit and you have to get strong, but not fit enough to go for a walk or a plod dog and not strong enough to lift your groceries. You have to be as fit and strong as you can possibly be so that every single part of your body is really strong. Now, the beautiful part of that is if you get super fit and super strong, you're going to have a strong brain. So you'll have great self-esteem and self-confidence. You'll think more clearly. You'll be a critical thinker. You'll be an optimist and you'll be a solution finder. But you'll have great posture because you've got a strong skeletal system. You'll have a fast metabolism because you've got strong muscles. You'll have literally no chance of the inactivity killer diseases like coronary heart disease, type 2 diabetes, osteoporosis. And then there's a big argument to say it's very unlikely that you'll ever get depressed, you'll never get Alzheimer's or dementia, you'll never get any of the big killer diseases that are killing the world because the world is inactive. So, and even if you get a bad luck disease, and there's lots of those, but is it possible that if you're really fit and really strong, you can fight the disease more effectively? It won't stay as long, you'll get rid of it quicker, and it may never come back again. But even better, and this is where it becomes for me, very emotional, because I've had lots of people in my life who have been diagnosed with a terminal illness. Now that means their life is going to end. And that can be very emotional. But if you look at that logically, first of all, we're all going to die. All of us, life is a terminal illness. None of us get out alive, we're all going to die. But how are you going to live? And even if you have a terminal illness diagnosed, you're going to die in 6 months or 12 months. First of all, most of the people that I know that have been diagnosed with you're going to die in 6 and 12 months, they're still alive now because they just refuse to accept the diagnosis. But let's say you get that diagnosis and you are going to die in 6 months. Is it possible that you'll live better if you're fit and strong? You'll live happier, you'll go and do great things rather than be stuck in a hospital or some kind of hospice care or some yucky place that people go to die. Me personally, this is my ultimate last day on the planet. I exercise really hard, I eat yummy food, I play with my puppy dogs, I invest special gorgeous time with my beautiful husband, and I fall asleep after a great meal and I don't wake up again. Now, that's for me the ultimate way to go. But that doesn't mean I'm going to go like that. We could die, all of us could die today or tomorrow. But how are you going to live? And is it possible that if you're blaming your past, if you're angry about your past, if you're emotional about things that you can't change, then you're going to screw up your future? So if you want to be really happy, if you want to live your life to the max, get really fit and get really strong and let your brain become mentally tough. It will do it. If you get really physically fit and really strong, your brain will also be tough and you'll automatically make better decisions. You'll make logical decisions. You'll be a critical thinker. You'll be an optimist and you'll be a solution finder. And is it possible that then you could live your life to the max? Super duper doo. How are you? Living my life to the max with a healthy, fit, strong body and a healthy, fit, strong brain. Woohoo!